there, I'm Chef Celeste, and welcome to my Louisiana kitchen, where I'm going to take you all around Louisiana through food. On today's episode, we're making grits and grillades, a Louisiana classic. We're also going to make barbecue shrimp, so stay tuned. Our ingredients for our grillades: we have our beef, which is already cubed, and then we have bell peppers, we have our onions, we have celery going in there, we have tomato paste, we have a little bit of flour, we got to make our roux to go with that, and then we'll get that started. When we get to the barbecue shrimp, then we have our jumbo shrimp going on over there. We have our butter. We're still going to add a little bit of our Trinity in there, and then we're going to add some tomato paste in there too. So we'll talk about that one in a minute, but let's get started on our beef. Right now I have my pan warming up. It is on medium. I'm going to turn that to medium high. Then let me pull this a little bit closer. It's already been cubed, so I'm going to add some of my seasonings in here. I have my Creole garlic in here. That's my Chef Celeste Senior Seasonings. So we have the steak seasoning on in there because this is steak. So we want to make sure that this is nice and delicious and flavorful. So we have that. We have garlic going in. We have some cayenne pepper in here. So let's get the meat all seasoned up over here. All right, nice healthy doses. I have some crushed red pepper in here also. While we're doing this, we're also cooking the polenta off in a different pot. We're gonna get that going. Okay, so give this a stir. And once I get the seasonings on here, then I'm gonna add the flour on here to get it all nice and coated. So that's what you wanna do. All nice and coated. All right, you see how that's going in there? Now let me give a little bit more flavor to it. I'm just gonna shake that on there. Finish it all out. You see the spices that I have on the plate, all I did was take that, put it in a bowl, and that's what we're putting together. So we just have our spice blend going on here to get all of the depth of flavor. So now, look at this. I'm gonna add my flour, just sprinkle that on, and stir it in. You can use your hands, you can use a glove, whatever you like to use. Just go ahead and do that. It's okay. So just get that all nice and coated. You see that? Look. Get it all coated. Now that that's on there, give me a little bit more. And this ensures that you're not going to get lumps in here when you're making the gravy to go to it. All right. Now I'm going to add my oil into the pan. Right on in the bottom. 1/4 cup of oil. Let that heat up a little bit. You see how that's starting to bubble up a little bit? Now let's get the meat down in there. Just let it go. All right, that's gonna take a minute to brown. Let me turn my heat up. So while this is going, then we're gonna go ahead and move over to the barbecue shrimp because this takes a little bit of time. So let this brown, and we're gonna work this one in stages. On this one, I'm gonna teach you how to multitask, okay? That's what we're doing. So we'll be right back. Barbecue shrimp. Who does not love barbecue shrimp? So first thing going in, butter. Now, when I dump this butter in here, don't freak out. It's a lot. You are not eating all of this, okay? You're gonna share this here, and remember I said everything in moderation. So that's what we're gonna do, everything in moderation. So while we have that going in, we're gonna let that go and heat for a minute. Let me turn it up just a little bit. We're going on medium high again, and just roll it around on in there. Roll it around. Shrimp. We're gonna add all this in at one time. This is not gonna take you all day. I'm not trying to get you in the kitchen and make you stay there all day. So shake your shrimp on in there. This is shell on because traditionally, we want all of it. Traditionally, it is shell on. That's part of the beauty of eating the barbecue shrimp, is that you're gonna sit there, you're gonna peel it. Now, if you don't wanna peel the barbecue shrimp, it's okay. Do that beforehand, or either buy it already peeled and you don't have to worry about peeling afterwards. So we have the shrimp in here. We're going to add some of my cracked black pepper. So put that in here. Then we're going in with the garlic. So garlic is key to this here, all right? So let's get the garlic going on in here. Remember, we're gonna chop down on this one here. Then I also, you can add roasted garlic in here if you like. It's okay. So let's get our cloves going in here. We're going to start off with 3, and then we'll add more if we need to. So you hear that sizzle on that? Nice. Now shrimp is one of my favorite things to cook. So you'll notice on my menus it is loaded with shrimp. So I love to cook shrimp pasta, shrimp creole, fried shrimp po' boys, you name it. I love to do shrimp in so many different ways. It's so versatile, and Louisiana Gulf shrimp is so delicious that it's just an easy go-to for me. And if you want a nice, delicious, and eye-appealing meal, why not grab some Louisiana shrimp? You can get it shipped to you. That's why I said grab some Louisiana shrimp. So, all right, chop the garlic. Again, we're doing a rough chop on here. Now one thing, we were talking about the cemeteries before. They are great in history, architecture, the whole 9 yards. It is not your average cemetery. They actually film a lot of movies in the cemeteries in New Orleans. So that is actually an attraction by itself. But let's move on. If you come to Baton Rouge, I love to go to the old state capitol, check that out. We have great museums, and you just go walk around downtown and check out the scenery and go from there. All right, look at that. Let that shake for a minute. I think I'm gonna add, because you know I like to add things to my food, so I'm gonna add some red onion and red bell pepper. Look at that going in. Nice and simple. And again, you can add some things. We're still keeping to our tradition, but I want some crunch in there, and I want you all getting some vegetables in your diet all the time, because we need that. So let me put that in there. All right, let's let that sit. And just give it a quick little shake. Just let it keep going. I'm gonna stir that around for a minute. And while that's going, I'm gonna check my pot on my beef, because it's time for me to give the beef a stir. Do not use your shrimp spoon for that, because if someone is allergic, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do cross-contamination. Okay, now let's give that a quick stir. You hear that sizzle on that? Now this is what we want right here. You see how that's browning on here under the bottom? That's when you start to stir and get all of the caramelization that's in here right now. Now I'm going to add the tomato paste, my bay leaf, all of this stuff, because we have the other seasonings on here. So let's get the tomato paste in here, and we're going to use all of this. This is about 4 ounces of tomato paste. So let that stir, mix it all in there. Nice and pretty. Shrimp is still working. You will get to the point where you can do 2 things at one time. It's okay. And this is going to be like your appetizer. So yes, I'm going to move back and forth and stir. All right, turn that this way here. Give me a better angle on that. Now, wine. A cup of wine, and it's going in here. All right, see that? All of that. Give it another quick stir. And then this is going to be ready to go into the oven. I'm going to add some onion and bell pepper in here. And once the beef is done and nice and tender, you see how that's starting to get that nice color to it. Shake the shrimp up. Shake, shake, shake. This is how we do it in the restaurant. I mean, you don't want to have time to cook one thing at a time. So you have to get in there, do multiple things at one time, and it's no big deal. Once you get the hang of it, you got the hang of it. I love taking people with zero cooking experience, and I bring them into the restaurants, and I'll start them off on salads and let them make salads, and then they end up with some beautiful salads, and then we move on to actual cooking. And it's very gratifying to give someone that skill where they can go out and actually make a viable living for themselves. So it's really nice to be able to teach people how to cook. So let me get a little bit of bell pepper going in. I'm gonna do red. because that's what I want to do, red. Shrimp is still looking good. And the shrimp is going to go with my toast points over here. So we have some grilled bread over here that's nicely toasted. Now the bell pepper and onion, it's going to cook down. So it's okay to put large chunks in there. So go ahead and put the large chunks in there. Let me give you a stir over here. All right. One more little stir. Now stir here. We're going in with just 2 cups of beef stock or chicken stock. Either one is fine. I lean a lot to my chicken stock. It just gives that extra flavor in there. But look at this. This is going in the oven. We are done playing with this here. We will adjust the seasonings afterwards to make sure you have it right where you want it. Put the lid on this baby. It's going in the oven. Done with that. So now I'm going to move over to my shrimp and get this finished up. So I'm going to add a little bit of color, add a little bit of flour in here to thicken my sauce up, and then we'll be ready for our appetizer. I'll be right back. All right, are you ready to eat? Because I'm ready to plate so you can eat. So we're gonna do our grillades first. Look at this. That goes over grits. I prefer to use stone ground grits. You can use the yellow, you can use the white. It doesn't matter. But let me slide the shrimp on over here because that's not the star right now. Turn that off. All right, look at that nice rich color on here. Looks good, huh? This is what we serve at the restaurant. Every Saturday morning, we go in, and this is one of our most popular dishes. So make a little well down in there, and just pour that on over there. You can have a nice biscuit with it. If you're not into grits, okay, you can use some rice, or you can use some pasta if you have to. We'll give you a pass, because the main thing is the beef. But look at that beef. Nice, delicious. I'm gonna put a little sprinkle on top just because. Give you a little sprinkle around. Look at that. Let me set this over here. Then we're gonna move on to, oh, I got a smudge on my plate. That's what you do. Then we're gonna move on to the shrimp. So you can save the rest of the grillades and turn that into a beef and rice dish. You can do a pot pie or anything like that with it. So be creative. So now in the shrimp, I actually added some Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, and a bay leaf, and just let that cook down. So I'm going to put my shrimp in first because I don't want it to splash everywhere. This is served traditionally with French bread pieces right here. So we have our bread grilled off. Then just get you some little plates because you need that bread to kind of sop up the extra sauce that comes from the shrimp. So let me see if I can pour for you. Look at that. Almost ready. Let me get some more around the side here. You see all the shrimp? This is nice jumbo Louisiana shrimp. And again, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Chef Celeste Gill. You can come to one of the restaurants when you get to Baton Rouge, and Chef Celeste Bistro. Now let me show you how you do this here. 1, 2, just put that on around here. I'm taking the bread from my charcuterie board. These are just some of the things that we had left over. But leftovers are not leftovers. Make something out of it. Make a nice charcuterie board out of it. Put that there, sprinkle. Done. Barbecue shrimp, and we have grits and grillades. I will see you next time on My Louisiana Kitchen with Chef Celeste.